Steam quietly updated its developer rules to ban content that might violate unspecified standard imposed by payment processors, banks, or network providers, especially certain adult-only games. Now, this first of all, the fact that payment processors are setting the standard for what is allowed on a platform is just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it shouldn't. Like, I'm fine with the platform itself determining that, okay, this content is excessive, this content is not something that we're comfortable with, but I don't like the payment processors being the ones determining what content is okay. Like, I just have a problem with that, and I think that's most people's initial issue with that. Hi, sorry to interrupt this wonderful video that you were watching. I just wanted to remind you to like the video and subscribe. It goes a long way. For you, it might just take a few seconds, but for me, it makes all the difference. I only need a couple thousand subscribers to be able to do this full time, 3,000, 4,000 subscribers because of where I live. So to you, it might just take a second, but for me, it makes all the difference. So I'll just let you sit back and you can go back into enjoying the video that you were watching. Dozens of games featuring themes like incest, slavery, sexual violence, or even non-sexual NSFW content were removed from Steam and itch.io. Many without developer notification or explanation. Australian non-profit collective Shout claims credit for pressuring payment companies such as Visa and Mastercard to target these platforms, sparking backlash from free speech advocates like Yoko Taro, who branded it financial censorship. A change.org petition opposing the policy reached over 30,000 signatures in days. Critics warn that the precedent empowers financial intermediaries to influence legal content beyond Steam's control. And yeah, exactly. That's exactly the problem. It's like, okay, the Steam can say incest is bad, slavery is bad, sexual violence is bad, other kinds of NSFW content are bad. But if Steam deemed it okay previously, why the hell is Mastercard and Visa then coming in and being like, no, we don't think it's okay? It's that chart of like, I consent, or is there somebody else you're forgetting to ask? And I think that's exactly what's happening here. It's like, why is the payment processor is an intermediary? Like, nobody cares what Mastercard thinks. And obviously there's some behind the scenes politics as well, because payment processors are kind of like, how there's a story of how HSBC was known to bank the cartels or launder money for the cartels, not directly, but they were keeping laundered money from the cartels, and it was linked together that this bank is kind of responsible for the cartel's actions. So it's kind of, so you understand why it's in Visa and Mastercard's interest to keep clean the kinds of operations that they bank on. But what you then have to realize is that is small. Like these, like if they're banking Steam, and Steam has like 1% of its games go overboard, then that should be like acceptable for Visa and Mastercard. That shouldn't be an issue for Visa and Mastercard. And then even if it is an issue for them, they shouldn't have more of a say than Steam, right? They shouldn't have more of a say than the platform itself. Like, Mastercard has millions of platforms that use it, and Steam has millions of games. Mastercard shouldn't then be able to say, out of these millions of platforms and out of these millions of games, these couple are overboard, so we're going to stop doing it. I think the platform should have more control. If Steam says it's okay, then it should be okay. Mastercard shouldn't have this much influence. The only reason they have this much influence is because they have a monopoly on the payment industry. If it was a competitive industry, Mastercard and Visa, so a duopoly. If it was a competitive industry, then Steam would just be like, okay, we're not using Mastercard, next. But because it's not a competitive industry, now Mastercard and Visa have too much power that they're able to impose decisions that positively impact them a little bit, but then negatively impact Steam a lot of bit. and it negatively impacts the players a lot. So I think that's the issue with framing it and determining it that way. Under UK's Online Safety Act, Ofcom now requires all adult content websites, including pornography, self-harm, and eating disorder material, to implement robust age verification via ID upload, facial scan, or credit card check. Okay. Sites including Pornhub, Reddit for adult forums, and Bluesky are integrating verification systems. Regulatory non-adherence can lead to fines up to 10% of global revenue. I think this is a terrible way of dealing with the problem, because now it's just going to cause security problems all over again, because now we're going to have sites requiring you to put your ID. First of all, okay, maybe some sites you can kind of trust with your ID, like I say kind of because they lie all the time. But like, let's say Reddit says that, oh, okay, they're using a third-party verification system and we don't store any of the images. You can still kind of think it could potentially possibly be true, right? But then what happens if a random porn site starts asking for your ID? How do you know if you can trust it or not? How do you know how likely you are to be scammed? So you're just going to be putting ID everywhere? You're going to be putting your face everywhere? Like, identity theft is very, very easy. And we make a big fuss about online privacy, and a lot of it is paranoia. But your ID can straight up just be stolen and used for some things without your consent. And I think that's just straight up something that is a problem. And it's not even going to protect kids, because if Pornhub asks for verification, there are a million porn sites. And I don't know why we always go bash ourselves on the head to prevent kids from going on porn sites, when you could just restrict access locally on the phone. Monitor what your kids are doing online. Don't give kids under the age of 13 phones to use in their free time, and then monitor the ones that are below 16, like from 13 to 16. And I'm not saying it's easy, right? Because being a parent is hard, especially in this digital world. But then don't let that affect adults, right? Don't make the internet harder for adults. Don't make the internet, harder to access from adults. Kids are already using VPNs. So now the effect of it is, if I'm a kid and I don't have any IDs and I'm in the UK, I just use a VPN. Simple. But if I'm an adult, I have to constantly put in my ID or use a VPN. So it hasn't made anybody safer. It has just made things harder for legitimate users. And that's why I always say about most security features. Most security features, especially digital ones, aren't really about preventing bad actors. They are just they just end up making things harder for good faith users. And that's how it usually ends up working. Critics warn users might face data breaches when submitting sensitive ID. VPN usage has surged over 500% as many attempts to circumvent access restrictions. Ofcom frames the initiative as critical to shielding minors from harmful content. Yes, privacy advocates argue the system trades anonymity for access, raising broader concerns over online data control. Yeah, I mean, I think I already said all of these things. It's just going to end up in VPN usage. VPN surged over 500%. I mean, it's very straightforward. Critics warn users might face data breaches when submitting sensitive ID. I mean, surprise. An ID is probably one of the things that we should be concerned about the most. I think your name, your phone number, I think most companies already have that has probably already been leaked online. If you're using an email address for Facebook or Twitter, it has probably been leaked online. If your phone number, if you put it anywhere, it's probably been leaked. Data brokers probably already have all that information. But your ID is something that we shouldn't just get comfortable putting on every website, because that could be very dangerous. In terms of impersonation, it could get you in legal trouble. It could get your money stolen. Like that is not something we should get comfortable putting on every website. Hi, thanks for watching this video. But before you go, I just wanted to remind you to like the video and subscribe. It goes a long way for the algorithm, and like I said, I only need a few thousand subscribers to be able to do this full time. So for you it takes a second, for me it makes all the difference. Thanks for watching this video, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing.